Hi everyone, Jack Willard here. Short video. John Lennon was my favorite Beatle. My mom and I were living in Montreal, Canada in 1964 for 6 months when the Beatles appeared. British invasion had begun, and as they were exploding in America, we felt kind of, removed from it. But my mom was from Liverpool, England, so she was very excited, and I was very excited. She got me a Beatle button and a blonde Beatle wig, which meant I was John Lennon, and that was cool with me. Those early Beatles songs, the first time I heard John singing I Want to Hold Your Hand, on the sixth album, he could sing the beautiful ballad, Yes It Is. And on the same album, scream out, Dizzy Miss Lizzie. My mom, of course, bought the albums and we played them over and over on the record player. Fantastic. And this boy, I saw her standing there. As time went on, he became more sophisticated in his lyrics with Paul McCartney. Some of the songs he wrote by himself, but both were credited. And we heard songs like Sergeant Pepper, All You Need Is Love. In the song Revolution, he said something very pertinent that is very important for the times we live in. Talking about the need for change, he said, if you're talking about destruction, don't you know that you can count me out? I see people from the very same generation, or maybe a little younger, in their 70s and late 60s, and they're all for violence all of a sudden. That was not John Lennon. But we have people in some cases that never prepared for their retirement, and now they have joined the crowd that wants free stuff, and they don't care if it's violence that makes that happen. They support people that John Lennon would have never supported. So Lennon knew that it was peace that was the ultimate goal. He certainly sang about peace a lot. Give peace a chance. And once the Beatles were over, he was doing meaningful solo work, Walls and Bridges, for example. He had a song called Mother. Now, John Lennon was abandoned by his mother. And in that powerful song, Mother, he uses primal screaming to say, Mother, you had me, but I never had you. And he screams out the word mother and goes to full voice, and it's electrifying. You can feel the pain and the anguish in his voice. Dream Number 9, a song I played during my time as a pop radio DJ. I never really understood the song. I would even joke about it sometimes, but dreams are often funny and hard to define, so I understood that part. I love the song Mind Games. And he did a song with Elton John, Whatever Gets You Through the Night. It was an Elton John song, but they were singing together. And Elton John said to John Lennon, now when this becomes number one, I want you to come to Madison Square Garden and perform it with me. Well, at that point in his life, John was not eager to go to Madison Square Garden. He was going through a time when he had pulled back, and he said, okay, okay, because he never thought the song would become number one in the mid 70s, but it did. It did. And true to his word, Elton didn't even introduce John Lennon. At the appropriate time, he just let him come out, and there was a wave of love for this man that went on forever and ever. They could not believe that John Lennon was standing before them. And he would sing several songs with Elton, including Whatever Gets You Through the Night. And he would sing, I Saw Her Standing There. He said, I'd like to thank Elton and the boys for having me out tonight. Oh, that's a moment you wanted to be at MSG right there. Incredible. They almost did Saturday Night Live. They almost did an impromptu appearance when Lauren Green did a bit uh, live saying that they'd like the Beatles to come down. And they say sometimes they won't come because money is an issue. But money is no option for us here at Saturday Night Live. And he held up a check, I think, for $5,000. And Paul McCartney and John Lennon were watching from the Dakota where John Lennon lived and would later be murdered. And they wanted to do it. John said, "Do you think we can do it?" And Paul said, oh, "What if we're terrible?" You know. And but they were. Paul was starting to tune the guitar, and they were getting ready. And then Yoko called. They had been estranged at that time, and that was the end of that. And it never happened. You know. Um, Certainly, when the tragic death of John Lennon happened, the world was paralyzed. People would cry. They were crying in the streets in front of the Dakota. I was crying. I wasn't there, but I was stunned and crying and having to work a overnight shift with another person who was not a Lennon fan that night. I remember it vividly, and I pretty much wanted to, throw him out of the door because he was almost joking about it. But he was just an incomparable, one of a kind artist. Um, he talked about the times we live in so eloquently. When he saw a UFO flying over New York, he wrote a song. Nobody told me there'd be days like this. There's UFOs over New York, and I'm not too surprised. Um, Unfortunately, in a recent uh, broadcast, a live show that we do often here on Saturday nights here at the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned, someone took me to task for not liking the song Imagine. Well, it's just being a lyric person and caring about God. I can't embrace a lyric like the talking of a time, an ultimate goal where there would be no religion, which would mean no Christianity, uh, no hell below us, above us only sky. I can embrace the no hell below us, but um, above us only sky, no, I can't embrace that. I can't embrace that because that gives us no hope, no hope in an afterlife and what have you. And Lennon, uh, even in the song God, where he says he doesn't believe this, he doesn't believe that, he just believes in Yoko and me. That's reality. People said John Lennon searched spiritually all his life and never closed the door really on anything. I had to say, I had to be honest and say, I don't think Imagine is the masterpiece that many people feel it is. But there is a body of work from Mr. John Lennon with the Beatles and as a solo artist that is so incredibly awesome, so incredibly unique and unparalleled. I had to stress here, John Lennon was my favorite Beatle. As much as I love Elvis Presley and enjoyed him, Lennon is way far up higher in my realm of artists that have made an incredible impression on my life, that have not only entertained me but taught me and got me through difficult times. So I wanted to say that and make that clear. John Lennon was a superstar and a really decent guy, for the most part. And I loved him very much. My personal email is jackthefairguy, F-A-I-R, at gmail.com. jackthefairguy at gmail.com. You can comment right here. Check out our channel for all our videos and try to catch our live shows as well. Thanks for watching, everybody.